So I'm going to be doing the commentary on Quest of the Lost Mixamajig in case you didn't know. And I think this special is really cool. I like their new intro. It has different music in case you guys didn't notice. It was the same one for Moon Madness, but I think, but you know, it's a different intro, so kind of cool. Now this King Nixel opening scene, I thought it really added a different kind of aspect to Nixels, that they were all ruled by a king, but it was kind of cool. Although I expected him to be more box shaped. Like, when it showed him in the shadows in Moon Madness, you could see him a little bit more box shaped. But I guess that might be because I have an easy explanation for that. Maybe more Nixels elongated on him on that scene. But yeah, so this scene is kind of cool. There's a new villain, so the Nixels, who seem to get fooled by his evil plot. And once again, we bring back characters from Series 2, Gaba from the Fang Gang and Tentro from the Flexers. I think that's kind of cool, how they go back from other series and bring characters back. And here's the Nixels there, preparing the weapon. Not exactly weapon, but it's the plan, basically. It's the egg rock. The egg rock, which... This is a bumper. This is a common bumper. This hill scene, bringing back some old Frostcon's affiliate. Snoof is talking about being special. This scene was kind of cool. It really shows how much Snoof wants to be special. The Frostcons don't believe in him, but it's still it's cool. And this scene, I never knew that. Now that this gives another perspective into Nixels, that they can just look on a monitor and see other Mixels for the target from their plan. I never knew that they could do that. And now they see Snoof. Yeah. And he's still wanting to be special. This special leading isn't really all that special. Now they have had a target for the plan. Now Snoof has a target for their plan. The first time I saw this trailer, I didn't know it was King Nixel's plan. I thought this was all like some real Chosen One thing. And I'm like, oh, Mixels is developing this cool plotline about the special. And then I noticed it was just King Nixel's plan. I'm like, oh man, that's so disappointing because Snoof is my favorite Frostcon. And that is very disappointing. But eventually I'm going to like this new storyline of it being all King Nixel's plotline, because it develops more of Nixels coming up with craftier plots, and I think that's kind of cool. So this scene following the egg rock, that's what it's called, and that's kind of a funny gag, the finger. We have smoke poking at Snoof's head to get him to draw his attention. That's kind of cute. And of course it kind of, see that bike with that other glurp glurp? That is an unidentified glurp glurp. That glurp glurp, as you say, the bike. He is a background character, and I noticed that on this thing they have background characters, and that's kind of cool because it gives you the idea that there's more tribe members of a tribe than they show here. But see, here's some Muncho's background characters. If you look, I can zoom in on that guy. He's a background character. And here comes Burp, the waiter. Now this kind of really surprised me, and I bet it surprised a lot of other people, that Vaku Waka actually ate Burp. And that probably surprised other people, that Munchos would actually eat Mixels, but, like, I thought that was all some kind of, I don't know. And then this is the egg rock, just landed in the Munchos land. Alright, I would be curious too if I saw some weird egg rock in Munchos land. Yeah, I don't blame them for wanting to check it out. And this scene is the first scene I actually saw, because it was the only one that was like as a trailer. This is the first scene I saw, full scene of Quest for the Lost Mixamajig. Now when I saw this scene, I was very surprised at their accents. I thought their voices were going to be normal, and so most of them. And you know, I didn't know a lot of accents to this, guys. And here comes the Maximum Mixel. And I thought this kind of looked like Bionicle style animation right here. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of, looks kind of robotic and kind of shadowy. Very much like Bionicle. And I was kind of surprised at that. Like their intertwining animation styles, but you know, this guy kind of doesn't really look like a Mixel all that much. I wasn't very surprised to know that this is all King Nixel's plot line, but you know, I kind of expected it once again to be like all some part of some special prophecy, but I guess it's not. Like, that would be cooler. That would be cooler though. So yeah. Now here comes the debate about who is the chosen one. Yeah. Mixels crossing their fingers. Mixels can't really do that. I noticed in the cartoons they add a lot more posability and flexibility to the characters. See, like Gurgle pointing here, you can't do that with real Mixel. That's kind of imaginative and really cool. Here comes the shadow, the ultimate Maximum Mixel disappearing, and apparently, Alright, here is part 2 of my fan dub of Quest of the Lost Mixamajig. Now, this is the scene I was talking about. I cut off early. I didn't know I was going to cut off that early. But this is called Following the Egg Rock. I already said that, didn't I? But I don't know. But anyways, here's Snoop with the key, and he just ran off from the other Mixels. Alright, I'm very surprised Snoop would betray the other Mixels right after they just said. And this Krog gag about water coming out from his gutter of an eye, I thought that was kind of funny and cartoony. And now, here is the cool mixing scene, the Mondo mix scene, which I thought was really cool. They made some cool mixes on it. And here's some new animation for mixing. You know, instead of getting like stuck in a giant blender to mix or anything, they spin around to mix, and I thought that was kind of cool. And then here's the Mondo mixes. And this mix is my favorite. He looked kind of cool. And then, of course, when I first saw the trailer with us, I thought that this was like all some other made-up Mixels, like some other background characters. When I saw the Mondo mixes, I didn't know they were like mixes. I thought they were like other background characters. And then when I finally watched it and I thought they were mixes, I'm like, wow, those do not look like mixes, like, because they're new kind of stuff. And once again, Muncho's eating Mixels. Very surprising, but. And then this. And now this surprised me too. that Snoof could actually go upward with his boosters. Watch this. This is awesome. And then, see, Snoof goes upwards with his boosters. That is cool. Can't stay up in the air for very long, though. And eventually they decide to work together. I thought that was really sweet. Oh, and here's the Clinkers. And this scene was, I thought this scene was kind of cool. It really introduces a new aspect to the Clinkers, that they're big on business, on big steampunk businessmen who kind of, you know, business. But yeah, and this really, then this Clinker Tower has new foliage, kind of city-like foliage. Very first Mixel's foliage, besides the Orbitons, that was kind of city-like. And I thought that was kind of cool. You know, city. And it's kind of like a big apartment story building there. And one of those, like, you know, 6-floor apartment story buildings. It even has an elevator. Very first Mixel's building that has an elevator, and it's kind of really industrial. Really makes me think of steampunk and what the Clinkers really mean. And here is the scene about the secret, which is actually just the Mixamajig. The secret is that the key will lead them the way. But Gox really wants to figure this out. Now, Gox is curious about this. Alright. So this, at first, before I noticed the Elixir scene, where he says, where Camzo makes that joke, at first I thought, oh, Camzo can't talk. He's going to be one of those really silent characters. But then when I saw that Elixir scene where they did the joke, I noticed he could talk. Now this scene, once again, I've never seen in Lost Mixamajig that really surprised me. Now, you know, I didn't think that they would use the same, you're getting very sleepy gag, but they did, and, you know, the hypnotizing sleepy gag, but then, yeah, they make the Clinkers feel kind of evil. Then, well, this is just surprising. So surprising. But then, so eventually, and now here, coming up here is the scene where they reveal that this building is an elevator, okay? So, also, they have a Clinker background character somewhere here. And I don't know if you ever noticed this, but he's kind of like you know those hotel servers characters? See, he's gonna come up from the elevator, alright? Ready for this? There's gonna be a Clinker background character that most of you have probably never noticed unless you were paying close attention. And also, this mix, it looks like a car. It's a mix. And I never really thought about that. You could make mixes with Clinkers that looked like cars because they had gears, and you could use the gears as wheels. That really opens up some really interesting concept for some mixes. Yeah. And then this is, alright, coming up here is the Clinker background character, okay? Ready for it? Wait a minute. You have to wait till they decide to go into the elevator. And then what's going to come out of the elevator is see, there's the Clinker background character I was talking to you about. Now, most of you might have never noticed this. But now you do, okay? So now, this is another mix. This mix looks like it was built by a 3-year-old, but that mix still is kind of cool, you know. They're still following the Clinkers theme of vehicles being mixes, but... And here comes the Elixir Land. Now this Elixir Land. When I saw the packages for the kind of, packages for, like, the elixirs, I thought this Elixir Land was going to look more like a farm, because I saw the hay bales and everything. But then when I noticed this was, like, the swamp here and everything. This is more like a tropical rainforest than a farm. But that kind of really threw me off, the tops of the things being like all farmy, like with hay bales and stuff. I don't know if you ever noticed that they had hay bales on there, but it's kind of awkward. And then this introduces a new concept that when you max, you can also merp. And I thought that was kind of cool. I never knew you could merp when you maxed. I thought maxes would always be clear out mixes. They could never turn into merps. And then this mix, that mix kind of looks cool. Yeah. It kind of looks like he's, you know what, with the ice cubes and slime. And then, yeah, splitting animation by that kind of warbling. And then here's Camzo's joke. Here's where I figured out Camzo could talk. At first I thought Camzo couldn't talk. Right? So, I'm doing part 3 of the Mixel commentary. And here's the clinkers again. Here's Camzo's joke, and right, here's his beans and bacon joke. I'm looking. Wait, I think you missed it, but what's the joke? And also, and here's this thing. He has Spug fetch the key. And yeah, I didn't feel like that made this conversation kind of silly, but I guess do kind of feel I agree, because now they don't have the key anymore. Although it's obvious again that they're going to work together again. And this here. They're still talking about working together with the key. Now, here is King Nixel's plan almost starting to work. And I thought it was kind of predictable that the Mixamajig could fit into a giant keyhole. That was kind of like a funny gag, that it would be in a giant keyhole. They would go through the giant keyhole. And also, it was kind of silly that there was other chosen ones, but I guess he wanted to gather as many Mixels, King Nixel, as he could, so he had more than one chosen ones. I was also surprised that Bernard in this one, he says that's messed up again. He brings up a quote, the Moon Madness, when he says that's messed up. And he says that's messed up again. And here's another keyhole. I was very surprised that they would go into that keyhole. At first I thought that they would just put the keys into the giant keyhole and it would reveal something like that. But then I noticed that they would go through the keyhole, and then inside the keyhole would be a keyhole. That's kind of, like those little dolls when they open up and there's another doll inside, another doll inside. It kind of reminded me of that. And also, Scarpy there. But I'm surprised they brought back some old Mixels again. I love how they do that, bring back Mixels from every series. And here is King Nixel's plan. And have you ever noticed that that's a different version of that Nixel copter there? Like the hovercraft there. They used to have a version of it where it was just a bunch of repellers on this junky thing. And now they have this version of it where it has a face, a Nixel face with glass eyes and a mustache and everything. But at first they just had the thing with it was just plain. And this is the part with all the maxes. Now, here's the part where you find out that you can take other Nixels and like he can elongate for his other Nixels and make him like bigger. Now, notice carefully because there is some Mixels instead of Maxes flying by. I thought that was kind of like weird. Like they had Chef, they had like Globert, they had Zaptor, you know, instead of the Maxes. I thought that was kind of a really big error. And here is the Ultra Mixamajig Max. And this guy, I thought he looked like he had way too many eyes than he should have. Just to be truthful, he has too many eyes, and I get they wanted to look like it was using a lot of pieces from all the Mixels there was, but like they put in a lot of eyes to him. That was kind of funny. And then this. Wow, I thought this was a pretty easy defeat to defeat King Nixel. I thought this was felt like it was being kind of too easy on them. Like, I felt that there could be more to King Nixel, that he could be almost undefeatable, and that was that one last moment, but it really didn't feel like that. When you're just watching this, it doesn't really feel like it's undefeatable, and it feels like he was easily defeated. Well, I wonder, now that they did King Nixel, Major Nixel, and just plain Nixels, I wonder what they'll have next for a bad guy now. And there's already been leaked to be more serious. What will there be? Now, I'm kind of wondering about that. That's kind of weird. And then, of course, they can't have no bad guys at all, because then there would be no plot line. There'd be no Mixels or anything, but there is new Mixels. We saw those fireman ones, all those other ones. See, this whole city